Nvidia stock investors are going to have a pretty exciting week as the next few days is going to be filled with a lot of AI news. There's actually going to be 5 important topics, in my opinion, that Nvidia investors should keep a closer eye out. And 4 out of those 5 are happening this Wednesday, all have to do with earnings. So on today's episode, I want to kind of explain a little bit of what these earnings are and why they are important for the overall stock. But more importantly, I also want to discuss first the 5th thing that Nvidia investors should watch out for, which I believe is the most important. Let me know in the comments below if you can guess the 5th thing. If not, I'll let you know right now, and that's that you have yet to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. All jokes aside, let's get started with today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so we are at the beginning of earnings season, and last week was pretty much the start of it, and we had 2 major players in the semiconductor space report earnings. TSMC reported earnings, and we know from them that the AI space is very strong. So that was a nice bullish sentiment from there. Then we also had ASML report earnings, and unfortunately, they kind of gave more of a bearish scenario. In previous episodes, I kind of explained why ASML's earnings aren't really something that Nvidia investors should be worried about and why TSM is more important. But regardless, they do share some great insight about the semiconductor space, which I believe has created buying opportunities. I actually talked about a few stocks that I purchased this past week after the sell-off. Make sure to check out my previous episode. But regardless, Wednesday I think is going to be the most important for Nvidia this week, as it is going to bring a lot of volatility. And it's mainly going to be because of 4 individual earnings. So the 4 individual earnings that are happening this week that I think every Nvidia investor should know is on Wednesday when the market opens, we have Verve. And after the market closes, we have Tesla, Lam Research, and ServiceNow. So throughout the episode, I'm going to explain a little bit of why these are important for Nvidia investors. And I want to start off with Tesla, right? So obviously in the AI market, there's a lot of different ways AI can be used. And I think Tesla is probably one of the main concepts of it being used as an actual product for them. So Tesla is using AI to kind of design and continue to improve its full self-driving capabilities, right? And we actually saw Tesla in these past few months and the past few weeks has announced a lot of new solutions, especially with autonomy, right? We kind of had the robo-taxi event, and most recently we also kind of saw Tesla's Optimus robot also kind of showcase some more announcements. So like I mentioned, Tesla is one of those companies that is using AI for its products already. And Tesla does talk a lot about CapEx and the AI market during their earnings call. And as an Nvidia investor, this is something we have to pay attention to. So last quarter, Elon Musk and the team mentioned that they are going to continue to expect to spend over $10 billion in CapEx. And a lot of that money is going to be used on kind of bringing that 50K GPU cluster online and continue to increase their capabilities in FSDs and other AI initiatives. So this is the tone we want to continue to hear from Tesla. I think Tesla, we're going to need to continue to hear, hey, what are they going to do in the future with CapEx? How are their AI solutions improving already thanks to the current GPU market? And what do they have to do within the AI space for the next few quarters? So I personally believe, based on what Elon Musk has been doing with XAI and obviously here with Tesla, that we're going to continue to see this bullish sentiment with FSD and with Optimus Robot. Now, the second company that is also reporting on Wednesday after the market closes is ServiceNow, ticker NOW. So now it's a company I personally don't own, but like Tesla, this is actually using AI to increase its revenue. So ServiceNow, to some extent, is a form of consulting company. So what they're doing is they're helping enterprises and other players build up some form of AI revenue or AI solution. And we see in their most recent earnings, which they reported on July of 2024, that generative AI is a generation secular tailwind, and it has kind of already added significant revenue boost kind of deals coming in for the past quarters. So this is what you like to hear. So ServiceNow being some form of consultant-based company, providing some form of software solutions for other players, we want to continue for them to say, hey, look, we signed more deals this quarter thanks to generative AI, because this kind of gives us more evidence that, hey, look, the enterprise market is pushing more and more into the AI space. So ServiceNow did have a lot of partnerships with Nvidia. Their original partnership started in May of 2023 when they kind of talked about some of their AI generative solutions for the enterprise space. And throughout the quarters and throughout the months, they continue to increase that form of partnership. So like Tesla is a great player to see how we're seeing generative AI in some real world applications for the consumer space, like FSD, like like robotics. Now we see ServiceNow, a company that will give us more of an insight of what's happening within the enterprise space and how enterprise companies might be adopting generative AI solutions. The third company I'm going to talk about is Verve Holding. Verve, I always mispronounce this one, but I did do a deep dive on this about a month ago. And before we go any further, if you want to learn more about the semiconductor market, I do have an ebook. Check out moresemiinvesting.com. For this upcoming quarter, if you purchase the ebook, every week I send an update with new earnings. So it's kind of a living document. And the great thing is if you purchase this quarter ebook, you're going to get last quarter for free. So a lot of great information if you want to learn more about the semiconductor space. Again, the link is down below, and you also have a special offer with the code in the pinned comment. Now, Verve is a company that deals with kind of the critical digital infrastructure. So they're helping build up these data center solutions. They have things like power management, thermal management, which obviously things like liquid cooling and cooling solutions, and overall IT system solutions. So this is one that's helping build these massive data centers with the solutions that they have. In their most recent earnings, they mentioned that, hey, look, their growth is exceeding expectations, mainly because they continue to see increased scaling of AI deployments, and they are working at capacity right now. So there's a lot of strong opportunity here with the data center space. So Verve will be another player that's telling us, hey, look, the data center market is strong. If they give us, right, what we want to hear is, hey, look, investors, the data center market is still growing at rapid levels. There's no slowdown happening, and orders continue to pile in, and we've increased our bookings X amount. And that's going to give us a bullish trend that, hey, look, data centers are popping up. Long-term contracts for future data centers are also popping out. So that means that the demand for Nvidia GPUs and AI chips are not only going to be strong right now, but they're also going to be strong for the future. So Verve is another important segment of the AI space. And as you can see, right, all these four companies that I'm mentioning are going to be hitting different avenues. We saw Tesla, like I mentioned, providing real-world applications. We saw ServiceNow, how the enterprise market is using it. And we see Verve going to tell us a little bit more about the data center space ecosystem and what's going on within that market, which is very, very important for GPUs. Now, the final company is going to be Lam Research. And this one, in my opinion, is probably the least important out of those other three that I mentioned in forms of the AI space. But Lam Research is definitely an important player in the semiconductor space. So they can give us a nice either bullish or bearish sentiment towards the AI market. Now, Lam Research, as I mentioned in the previous episode, is one that I'm personally purchasing right now. And a lot of negativity, in my opinion, has been priced in as ASML recently reported earnings and kind of gave a bit of a weakness to the equipment space. Now, Lam Research, for those that are not familiar, provides semiconductor equipment mainly used in kind of the memory market. And right now, we know the memory market is pretty strong with things like HBM. Lam Research, while I do believe won't give us too much of a reaction, I think we are going to see some very, very good things about the AI market in this earnings report. So those are the four stocks that I'm personally looking at for this week, especially Wednesday. Like I mentioned, Wednesday is going to be a very, very important day for not only semiconductor investors, but mainly for Nvidia investors, because we're going to get a lot of information from different segments within the AI space. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.